Hey, Farva.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
Hey, is any of this sinking in?
Don't mess with the bull, young man. You'll get the horns.
You're dead. Dead.
What's the name of that restaurant you like with all the goofy shit on the walls and the mozzarella sticks? You mean Shenanigans? No. You're talking about Shenanigans, right?
Today's movie, Scream,
Stop.
1996. We're what?
Need to introduce the podcast.
Ah, damn it. All right. Welcome to the 35 millimeter podcast.
I gotta hit the timer. Damn.
I knew. I was like, okay, thank God we weren't recording it because I was like, I already messed up in like the first 2 seconds.
Oh, this is gonna be funny whenever you pull this up to edit it.
Because he's been recording for like 10 minutes already.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it. Yeah, it's going to be a field day.
All right.
Okay. All right. Welcome to the 35 millimeter podcast. I'm Alex.
But I'm Tracy.
I guess that makes me Matt.
I'd hope so.
I guess so. Today's movie is 1996's Scream, starring Drew Barrymore.
Barrymore.
Scabby.
You ain't heard about that?
No.
Oh.
She's scabbing, dude.
Oh, so she developed a heroin addict?
Scab.
Oh. So she's crossing the picket line.
Yes.
Heroin. What?
Because I was thinking scabs from the needles. Scabs from the needle. Now, when Drew Barrymore's passed, I mean, at this point in time when this movie was recorded, she probably was Drew Barrymore at that time as well.
Yeah, that's what I meant by having a field day with this, because yesterday he was like, I'm gonna do my show without my writers. I'm gonna cross those picket lines. So yeah, this movie was released in 1996. It is written by Kevin Williamson and directed by the most famous, one of my favorite directors, Wes Craven, R.I.P.
Yep. Kevin Williamson wrote a lot of other 90s slashers. Like I Know What You Did Last Summer, which is almost a clone of this movie. Halloween H2O, which isn't necessarily a clone, but it's very similar because Scream was a resurgence in slashers. Faculty.
I remember that one.
He also, this was unbeknownst to me that he wrote the Vampire Diaries. But like James Cameron, who was inspired by a Nightmare, he was too.
And apparently this Kevin Williamson, he based this off of an actual killer.
Yes, yeah.
The Gainesville Ripper, which I'm not going to get into. I thought about it, but I was like, I don't want to, because...
This, about Wes Craven, though, obviously, if you don't know who Wes Craven is, he's famous for one movie and one movie only. Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
That's the movie.
That is the movie. Actually, he's the only reason New Line Cinema exists. And, he didn't want to do this, and then he was like, fuck it, I'll do it. Good
so
choice.
How did you get talked into doing it? Just kind of like, you're fucking doing it, or?
Money. But, all right, 1996. If I name this wasn't a top 10 hit. But if I start naming other movies, you'd be like, oh, fuck, how did Scream not beat this? Like, the Independence Day, Twister. I mean, it makes sense that those were big, but Scream has stayed with us for decades.
Yeah, I mean, but also I think part of it is the cost of making sequels to Twister and Independence Day is significantly higher than...
Well, I mean, Independence Day had a sequel, it sucked, and Twister is having a sequel come out soon.
It took 2 decades for Independence Day sequel, and it was not that bad. Shut your mouth.
Says the Marvel apologist.
I'm not an apologist. I just like them.
The Rock, which I love The Rock, but...
That's a badass movie.
Nick Cage, Sean Connery.
Nick Cage was a chemical, biological, nuclear guy in the military, and then there was a nerve agent in Alcatraz that they had to stop from spreading out in San Francisco.
So, have any of y'all seen Scream before?
No.
I have. but Tracy hasn't.
Never had. Yep.
So this was your first time watching it.
Yeah. I mean, I was never like, I'm not a horror movie person. Like,
I figured you like this was like one of the most popular VHS tapes of the time, man.
and yeah, like I just never like, I mean, I was also 8 when this movie came out.
Yeah, because well, I mean, they had a sequel a year later. I'd seen this several times on VHS. Went to the movies to see part 2.
You went to the movies a lot more than I did as a child.
Yeah, arguably one of the best parodies.
I agree. It's like it's an actual parody, but it also pays homage to horror movies.
Yeah, it takes itself seriously. The fucking legacy of this movie. Obviously, the other movies Williamson has wrote was inspired by this. Jordan Peele was inspired by this. Like the edge of your seat kind of like horror. Okay, this was so popular that it got a sequel less than a year later, which isn't an often thing that happens.
Yeah, and like while it is a slasher film in its own, like at its core, it's also a thriller in that it's not like if with Freddy or Jason or Michael Myers, where those are the bad guys, you know what they're doing, and it's kind of more of like run for the life. This is more of a much more realistic, like who's doing it, kind of like thriller aspect to it as well. That you typically, I guess, then not so much got in horror movies, but you do now. Like I think it kind of shifted the genre in that sense as well.
Oh yeah, like again, like you can't like anything. Everything that's been said about this movie has already been said. It spawned its own. It's a parody, and it spawned its own parodies. Obviously, the Scary Movie franchise.
And like I said before we started recording, I didn't realize how much a 1-to-1 parody like that fucking movie was.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like because normally there's like a 2 and 3. Obviously, they throw more shit of like movies they pulled into. Like, but that first one is like a directly like, hey, let's just make Scream but dumb or goofy.
Yeah, and let's throw the Matrix in there because it's like.
And let's make it really gross and stupid. And funny.
But that wasn't the only parody that came out that year.
What else came out?
Shrink If You Know What I Did Last Friday the 13th.
I vaguely remember seeing that in the Blockbuster.
I know, like I've seen it a few times. I think it's funny. It's a 1-to-1 parody too. Who played? I want to make sure. Tiffany Amber Thiesen's in it.
Why does that name ring a bell?
Kelly Kapowski.
Okay, that's fine.
Coolio's in it. It didn't make shit for money, like because Scary Movie blew it out of the water. But like, there's a lot of names that you probably don't recognize. David Hasselhoff, or they have a character based on. Yeah, it wasn't good, but it has a few better jokes. A few better jokes than Scary Movie. Like they do a whole scene with real big fish. So before we start getting into the movie, let's just go on and give that blanket apology to the fucking fandom for anything we may mess up. Like if some random screamhead jumps in, like, oh, you got it. Actually, you got it fucking wrong.
Ukulele apology. Shit.
Ding, ding, ding. Tracy doesn't get that reference.
Yeah.
Nope.
Colin Ballinger.
Made an apology with a fucking ukulele.
Oh, I remember that. She's like, this racist joke isn't that racist.
I didn't mean the racist jokes. I didn't mean, the sexual assault of kids.
I was about to say that. I didn't mean to groom kids.
Or Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, like, we didn't know our letter would offend that many people. AK, we didn't know it would get out. We wrote it. That's what that is.
These PR teams that are coming up with this bullshit, like, hey, me, I can give you a better excuse. That'll at least get you by with a few people. No
ukuleles involved.
Just say you wrote it in favor of him, then more new information came to light, and you want to remove it as part of it. Like we didn't know we knew he was bad, but we didn't think he was that big of a shitbag.
Man, if you're going to bullshit your way out of it, get a better PR team,
or do it better. But
or just
y'all are actors.
Like we should start our own PR firm.
Yeah, we should. Like
Let's go shut the fuck up. That's what that's.
Shut your fucking mouth, you dumb fuck. LLC. Yeah, like it's cool if you like this franchise. I love this franchise. But it's like wrestling fans, man, get a fucking life. There are huge deep dives on who killed who in these movies.
Like on between
Yes, Plug, Stu, and fucking Billy are the killers.
Yeah,
if
like
you
which
don't know that by now.
Like I kind of had an idea. Like actually, since I saw a scary movie, but I remember chunks of it, but I couldn't remember who in Scary Movie did it. So I didn't know who did it in this. So I was kind of like putting the pieces together. And for some reason, I feel like in Scary Movie, there's a twist that they're actually gay fucking each other as well. And they're like, they killed like.
It was coded, but yeah. Or it was, the whole thing was a joke, like, because Shawn Wayans, who was one of the killers, he was like, I'm not gay. So you had like some homophobic shit there at the end.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, like wrestling fans, man.
Get a life.
Yeah, get a life. Like,
Go outside.
just have fun with what you watch. Stop taking it so seriously.
So like, do they actually like sit down like, so this is where Stu kills this person and this is where Billy kills this person? And like, what the fuck?
Oh, you haven't watched the other 5.
No, so I have no idea. Apparently you can't find, was it 5 or 4 anywhere streaming wise?
That's not true.
It's on Paramount Plus.
I mean, I might be interested in rewatching them and just watching these. Put that in a pile of other movies I need to watch.
So I won't get into any lore about that. We'll stick to this one movie.
But yeah, needless to say, the fans out there are just like, oh no, it has to be this killer or it has to be that killer. It's like you're getting a little too in depth with this.
Yeah, this movie doesn't even take itself seriously sometimes.
No, which was the point. Especially when they're making fun of, when Wes Craven is making fun of himself in this movie. So, yeah, and we get a really cool title card. None of them are the same like this. Like where it flashes red like this. In the other movies, not giving away anything, it's the code open, then the title card, instead of the title card, then the code open. But we open with, this Drew Barrymore answering the phone, making some popcorn. She's 80s and 90s icon. E.T.
Pretty big at the time.
Oh, yeah. Well, she had done E.T. as a kid. Firestarter. Sometime a little bit after this, she started doing the Adam Sandler movies.
Yeah.
Like Wedding Singer, 51st Dates.
She's like the perfect example when child actress goes bad. And also like the poster child of like.
Not really, but.
I mean, her teenage years where she's like 12 doing coke with adult actors. Like that aspect. Now she's sobered up.
That's a part of like the Hollywood culture that needs to go the fuck away.
Yeah. Now she's sobered up as she became an adult, and like you don't see it like, and you don't have the Lindsay Lohan and those scenario Paris Hilton situations, but
she's cleaned herself.
But
up.
I mean, but Drew's is like from like a preteen was like living a rough life.
I really loved her in Santa Clarita Diet, which they can't, like another show Netflix canceled way too soon.
Wrongfully
Because people
canceled.
were watching it.
Yeah. Well, 12-year-old me fell in love with her in 1996, 97. Wait, 95. Boys on the Side. Because she, you probably, I didn't think you'd see this. She takes off her shirt. And then Batman Forever.
I didn't know
Where's she
was
playing
on
Batman Forever?
Yeah.
She's one of Two-Face's henchmen or henchwoman.
Oh.
It's
Okay.
her. She's the good one.
Okay, I remember. I was like, okay, wait. I'm sorry, that's very familiar.
And the Teddy.
Yeah, I remember.
Alex has been alive longer than I since it's been since I've seen that movie. So they've seen it before since I have.
Drew Barrymore is in a hilarious episode of Z-Way. This is a show. It's a talk show on Showtime where this comedian Z-Way, she interviews people and makes fun, like basically makes fun of them to their face. It's hilarious. But she's also part of the Barrymore family.
Yay.
And up until
Like, are you meaning like the Barrymore family, like the dude, like when we seen It's a Wonderful Life, the old guy, like
I don't
kind
know
of.
if She's
family
part
tree,
of a
or
very family. Like there is a Barrymore family tree. Yes.
yeah, like
He,
the
John Barrymore is her grandfather.
the old asshole from It's a Wonderful Life, right?
Maybe, sure, why not? I didn't really go that deep dive into it.
just
But
just
like before this week's like news about her scabbing, I was like, this is one of the most chill Nepo babies out there now.
yeah, and then it's like, yeah, that's right. You are a Nepo baby.
But yeah, her grandfather, John Barrymore, like I said, Raoul Walsh is a director back in the day. Okay, this is a funny ass story to me. This dude, John Barrymore, her grandfather dies, and he takes this director takes his body and takes it to Errol Flynn's house to scare the shit out of him.
What the fuck? That sounds kind of fucked
I mean, it's
up.
great. It's fucked up, but it's funny.
No, that's fucked up.
Yeah, and Drew has confirmed this. Like this happened, but this was Drew Barrymore before Tom Green.
Oh, you mean Freddie from Freddie Got?
Angered,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tom Green
Road
from Tom
trip.
Green. Yeah,
Daddy, would you like some sausage?
Stop! I hate that movie.
Also, Lionel Barrymore, Mr. Potter from It's a Wonderful Life. That's her great uncle.
okay, but yes, I figured they were related. I just didn't know how. Of fucking course, because she's a rich celebrity with a family. She owns a winery. Francis Ford Coppola owns a winery.
Of course.
But this dude keeps on calling her and harassing her. And this is Roger Jackson, who's done a lot of voice acting. Probably his most well-known role besides this is Mojo Jojo from Powerpuff Girls.
I did not know that. I didn't go that deep into the. I knew it was a different voice, but I didn't know he did Mojo Jojo.
Yes, but this voice is getting increasingly hostile with her after flirting with her. And one thing I love about this is that even back in 1996, Kevin Williamson is nailing down toxic masculinity right here.
I mean, like after calling again and again, I would not answer.
You don't hang up on me. And he has to, of course, during the scene, he has to give her a trick question about Friday the 13th, which, again, that's what.
If you like horror movies, tell me what the best one is. Tell me who was the murderer in Friday the 13th.
Of course, it was Jason's mom. God damn it.
But I mean, she's like, but because he gets more hostile, and then like it gets intense to the point where he has her, like he lets her know that he can see her, and she freaks the fuck out. And he's like, or she's like, oh well, my boyfriend's gonna get you or whatever. And he's
a
like,
jock.
Yeah, he's a jock. He's gonna kick your ass.
But yeah, I mean, he being like, oh, you like horror movies? Well, tell me X, Y, and Z. It's kind of like with football. Oh, you're a woman and you like football? Well, tell me the 10 best running backs of all time.
Or it's like that bullshit with like, if you wear a Nirvana shirt, name your top 3 Nirvana songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do love how the Jiffy Pop in this scene is creating suspense. Yeah, and of course, the infamous line, do you like scary movies?
What's your favorite horror movie?
I'm gonna gut you like a fish.
Like, so this is pre-cell phone days, like caller ID increased exponentially after this movie. Now it's commonplace. Used to, you had to pay for it. You had to pay extra to know who was calling you. Did you ever talk to a stranger like this?
I made prank phone calls.
No, but did you ever talk to a stranger, just like have a casual conversation with a stranger?
Maybe once or twice.
My grandmother did. We were at a family get together. Someone calls. She sits down and talks to him for like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And when she gets off, we were like, okay, who was that? And she was like, oh, it was the wrong number.
That's just your grandmother being a white person.
But it was about this time that we see Steve being all tied up. And I didn't realize who he was. You probably recognize him, Tracy. It's Kevin Patrick Walls, but he was the dick cop in Blade. Do you remember that? Like the asshole cop.
I'd have to. It's been so long since I've seen Blade.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I need to watch it. Only thing I remember from Blade is motherfuckers keep trying to ice skate uphill.
But we get our first kill of the franchise. Everybody thinks it's see, this is like some toxic masculinity. Be like, it wasn't Casey who died first. It was Kevin Patrick Walls as Steve. But yeah, Ghostface kills him.
Yeah, he just guts and all.
I don't. Yeah, we later find out that both of the killers are there, both Stu and Billy.
So we find out in a different movie or in this movie?
No, this movie.
This movie. Like it's a blink and you miss it line. When they talk about killing her, like whenever at the end, whenever they're telling Sydney everything.
Yeah,
it's a blink and you miss it line. But yeah, they were both there to kill them too.
Right. It wouldn't take one person to do that. I mean, you would think so, but
not to string them up by their intestines though from a tree. That takes.
Oh yeah, that takes some. That
takes some effort out of two people, and as we see, Stu does not have the strength to be able to do that.
No. If you ask me, just the entire movie, the Ghostface killer guys are bitches. Like they could have, like, if you just hit them like once, good time, it would just knock them out. Like, look, I mean, they
don't back the fuck down.
But this mask, this iconic mask, now was an actual real mask.
Of like
before then.
Like it's said in the movie, like it's just some like horror prop ghost mask, right? That's
well, it actually existed. It's before then. They just they were like, okay, this mask fits with what we want. This is what we want to use. And the people that made that made millions of fucking dollars.
And now it's like you can get a mask and it has like a blood pump, and you squeeze it, and the blood just goes. Like I remember someone wearing that costume one Halloween.
Are you reading my fucking notes?
No,
because that's exactly what I had next.
You really?
They have like a Ghostface killer mask that does that. Because I remember they had the cheap ass like skull mask with the plastic sheath over top of it that would.
No,
like
it has it has a layer of plastic. And what you do is you press like this pump.
Yeah.
And it pumps blood down through it.
Yeah, I remember those from over in high school.
Yeah,
I had one of those.
Yeah,
I remember someone wearing one. So that's why I mentioned it, but I didn't know that was in your notes.
They made a good choice here by making it a black robe instead of a white robe.
Mm-hmm.
They had thought about using a white robe in this movie.
That would have been weird.
That would have been a little problematic.
I didn't make that, but wait, they don't ever actually kill any black person in the film, so they might have been about.
Yeah, not in this one.
Yeah, not in this one. So like they might have get by with the white one, but they would have killed a black dude. It would have been nope.
We cannot do that.
I was just calling him the Grand Dragon. Just kept going with it.
The guts, fine, cool. We cannot kill a black dude.
Yeah, but Ghostface is chasing her. Like in this scene, we're made to believe that it's just one person chasing her. But oopsie daisy, the parents arrive too late. And then she gets titty stabbed.
It's a scary movie when it's Carmen Electra. The implant comes out.
Yeah, choked and then hung while they hear her dying, which is a really gruesome kill. Love it.
It's one of the most. I mean, I'm not going to get into it.
This was a bold ass move.
Oh yeah,
Drew Barrymore by far is the biggest star in this movie.
Well,
at the time, like bigger than everyone else.
Right.
Had Courteney
still is, but
had Courteney Cox hit Friends fame yet?
Yeah.
That was
2 years after.
She had just finished the second season.
So it's like it's picking up some speed.
It wasn't David Arquette, that's for damn sure.
But we immediately transitioned to Sidney Prescott writing a paper on a computer.
I thought she was updating her GeoCities website when I first saw it, and just like I was like, "Damn!"
And then this fucking outdated shit, even in 1996.
And then I saw more of it. I was like, "Is she programming in DOS?" Like, that's a horror show.
And this is Neve Campbell. This movie, like so many of the other actresses that are in this and actors, propelled her.
Yeah.
Like Wild Things after this and 3 to Tango. Those are good movies.
I
Wild
only
Thing's
know
not a
her.
good movie, but it's a fun movie.
Right.
Like to tell you how big she is, just like not giving anything away in the 1997 MTV Movie Awards, which I looked it up. It was presented by Jeff Goldblum and Anne Heche. She beat Kate fucking Winslet as Best Actress
Oh, because of no.
for her
but-
role in Scream 2.
Oh wow,
That's
really?
to tell you how big she was at the time.
Which I mean, props. She's a good fucking actress. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. And like now she's saying, "Hey, I ain't coming back to Scream unless you give me fucking money."
Wait,
Good for her.
but she beat Kate Winslet in Titanic.
Yeah, at the
That's
what I'm
MTV
saying.
Movie Awards.
Okay,
That's-
it's MTV.
and
That's
that's
a
a
lot.
lot.
No, yeah,
It's MTV. That's
Titanic was still a $2 billion movie, dude.
yeah, but that's
Like-
obviously a popularity more contest instead of like a
Well, it is.
critical achievement. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not
What
like-
do you mean popularity? $2 billion, pretty fucking popular.
Well, I mean, like, but that's obviously like a teenager focus. Like, they're obviously going to choose that over
It's
Titanic.
whoever fucking votes.
Yeah, call in at this number at 1-900.
And
We
vote
gotta
for
make sure you
Ned
pay that
Campbell.
20 cents a second that you run that line.
In sneaks fucking Billy Loomis,
Creepy.
who's trying to get some.
Played by Skeet Ulrich. I was about to say, like, he's been in other stuff. Like, he's been in The Crack. Apparently, he's in fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja
You've been
Turtles.
looking at my fucking notes, I swear to God.
No, I literally, no, I'm not.
You just copy and pasted your notes onto her notes, and now they're her notes.
His notes.
Yeah,
No, sorry.
it's all right. It's cool. But I mean,
We realize later he's trying to set up an alibi for killing Casey.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's an extra. He's a background extra in TMNT 1990. So you know Sam Rockwell was in that movie, right?
If I watch it now, I'd recognize him, but
He's
I don't.
the one who was like, "We a family," and then Casey's like, "You call this right here family?"
Okay. Yep. I know exactly who you're talking about.
That's Sam Rockwell, which we all know who Sam Rockwell is.
Uh-huh.
Behind him is Skeet Ulrich.
Oh, wow. So Skeet Ulrich kept the grungy fucking look going the entire time.
He still has this crunchy fucking look. What are you talking about?
Like I was about to say, he is not changed. He even because this dude I just remembered is in fucking Riverdale as Jughead's dad. I'm
Oh,
not
wow.
looking at your notes.
You are too.
No, I'm not. I wrote my own fucking notes. I'm telling you.
like Skeet
Oh, you
Ulrich looks
so-
like the Mickey Rourke pretty boy
Mhm.
after drug problem. Like that's what he looks like.
He was in like one of my favorite shows at the time, and was pissed me off that it got canceled. Jericho.
I don't
See,
remember
okay,
that
I
one.
didn't have that in my notes.
It was about a nuclear strike on America. It was made
Oh,
after
wow.
9/11.
Of course.
But yeah, he's in Riverdale, which like, what the fuck is that show about?
Riverdale?
Polyamory.
Dude,
I guess so.
have you seen Riverdale?
No.
It is more than about fucking Archie and his bunch, man.
Like I thought that was just like let's tie all of Sabrina and all of these characters together and
I watched like one episode of Sabrina.
It's about time travel.
cool.
It is about polyamory.
Okay.
Like they just start throwing whatever the fuck they can at the wall.
Oh, wait, incest.
Oh yeah, incest.
It started off as a murder mystery, which I thought I did watch the first season. It was good because of fucking Luke Perry.
About this time, like he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna get my nut." And her dad walks in.
I heard screaming.
Yeah, like yeah, he's like, "The fuck?" But what the fuck? Like, parents are always doing that shit. Give some privacy.
Yeah.
I know, but it's his house. Don't make him take the door down.
His house, his rules.
I've seen some videos about that where a dude will actually like cut down the door, not take it off, cut it down.
I was about to say, I've seen
Like
people
when that
taking
kid
it off.
stops seeing that dad in the future, I hope
Don't-
he
don't-
realizes why.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like after the dad's like, I'm gonna be out of town. Billy's like, I saw The Exorcist on TV last night. It reminded me of you. And I'm like, red flag.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm not entirely sure how he's like relating the Exorcist to her, but
Your mother sucks cocks in hell. I mean,
it makes her goo-goo-eyed for him.
She's like,
she's got
yeah.
I mean,
issues.
I ain't gonna lie. Skeet Ulrich is a very attractive dude.
Oh yeah,
But in the context of this character, if someone was like, "Oh, The Exorcist turns me on, makes me think about you, and ergo turns me on,"
I see you've been looking at my notes.
That's a danger win, Robinson.
yeah. So, and which we're getting clues that this is actually the killer.
But it's like, oh, is he or isn't he? It clearly fucking is.
All right, let's fucking make out, baby. And they play a really good acoustic version of "Don't Fear the Reaper." I like it.
I did see that this movie doesn't like have a score, but there's a lot of covers in this.
Yeah, there's a soundtrack to it.
Yeah.
But of course, "Don't Fear the Reaper" is a reference to Halloween. Because that's what Lori and her friend were in the car listening to.
What's he calls himself, Stud Bucket or whatever? Or she call him Stud Bucket?
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Ugh. And then like he chalks off the entire like, I'm gonna sneak into your house as like a romantic gesture. It's like, dude.
But she does have some boundaries, which good for her.
Yep.
And he's like, back
in the day, this would be called blue balls. It
Uh-huh.
would be called boundaries. It would be called she's giving
Blue
him
balls.
blue balls.
And your girl's just being a bitch.
Yeah, which
I mean, some of it's
in
still kind
hindsight
of
is
today.
terrible fucking framing.
Yeah. And you can see also kind of like the basis of why Billy starts killing people as well, in the sense of like, you ruined our relationship, your mother's death ruined our relationship, and it made you even worse. And it's like, what the fuck?
But this is a theme that I love in the movie about sex.
Yeah.
I do love this theme throughout the movie.
Uh-huh.
But we get to the next day, and Sydney ain't been paying attention to the news, and word of mouth is spreading about the murders, and they like kind of have protection at the school. And the only thing going through my mind was this school is more protected in this moment, it won't be later, than some schools today after school shootings.
Yeah. And then
like it's interesting enough, like the imagery that came to mind watching this was more so actually like desegregation imagery, like when the cops were forcing students in, like just kind of like how the cops there with the cord on, letting people like the students come in, like trying to force them in while you have the people on opposite sides yelling at each other. Like that's kind of like the imagery, like obviously it's a different situation entirely, but just kind of seeing that come through of like showing at the killings and stuff, I guess, because obviously, I mean, Columbine was 97?
No, 97 was Heath. 98 was Columbine.
So, like, obviously, like, they hadn't had the real world example of what happens when this shit happens, which I'm probably they update later. So I'm going to just assume, like, and kind of like
a little bit, yeah. Sydney is walking up with a friend, Tatum, and this is Rose McGowan.
Charmed.
This was her breakthrough role, of course, like almost everyone else in this movie. But she famously replaced Shannon Doherty in Charmed. She's been all over the place in real life, dude. Like, apparently, she tried to broker a deal with Iran in 2020 on Twitter. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like
Life
after when the U.S. assassinated one of their leaders.
Yeah.
But she's also was like one of the big instrumental people in shining a light on Harvey Weinstein's predator behavior.
Yeah.
I was about to say that too. Because like a piece of shit, but everyone would agree.
Yeah. But we're talking about teenagers. Teenagers aren't really that concerned about the murder as like adults would be.
Yeah, because
they're joking about it, and honestly, that's how.
Of course, that's how it is.
That's how teenagers treat tragedy.
And we have all these news outlets, and like what Tracy was saying, one shot for shot, one for one, and it made me think of that scene where all the white reporters are like, "Oh, here's the murder," all that, and the black reporters like, "Fucking run, fucking run,"
Get the
and I'm
fuck
like,
out.
"Yeah, get the fuck out."
White people are crazy.
But Sydney's called to the principal's office, and this is where we see fucking Fonzie, who famously did not want billing in this movie.
It's interesting because that's like one of his more serious roles he's played, right?
Yeah,
What?
he didn't
It's
want
odd.
he didn't want his name to overshadow everyone else.
Gotcha.
Oh,
Like he was being a good guy for that.
good.
We also meet David Arquette as Officer Dewey, another Nepo baby, but pretty cool Nepo baby.
Yeah,
Buffy, he was in Buffy.
he was in Never Been Kissed, which
Yeah.
also had Drew Barrymore.
He was
Raven.
he was hilarious in Airheads.
He was in
was
Airheads?
in
Yeah,
Airheads. I don't know that.
You're talking Brendan Fraser, Stevie Adam Sandler movie, right?
Oh, okay. Never mind.
What
Never
role is
mind.
he in? Airheads. Is he like the roadie?
He's Matt's like, You should
I'm letting
know.
him try to connect this. And whenever he sees the picture, he'll be like, "Oh fuck, okay."
you'd be like, which I mean, same. If it clicks, it clicks.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it to click. Because
We'll see
Yeah,
it.
he's seen Airheads. You've seen Airheads, right, Tracy?
Yeah, it's been a couple years since I've seen
Years.
it.
Week
Week years. I was like, wait, no. I have not seen it yet.
He's just type in Airheads David Arquette.
Oh yeah, he's the DJ for this.
Yeah.
Okay. If I would have if I would have seen him like today, like recently, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember him.
And of
He's
course, we
He
can't
was the
talk
inside man.
right.
he's
But we-
also I was about to say he's also because I don't know if you played this game, Tracy. He's in the Quarry.
No.
Oh yeah, it's a good game.
Yeah, he's like the motion capture and voice in the Quarry. I just want to say that because I
You
like
would-
him
But
that.
we
We
can't
need to talk
talk
about
about
the
David
bigger work.
Arquette. I think
We have-
Tracy's about to talk about it. Okay, go ahead.
Okay,
with when he's in a co-leading role with Oliver Platt in a short movie called Ready to Rumble. That movie is a fucking classic and hilarious and
Which means we need to talk about his greatest accomplishment ever.
WCW champion.
Former WCW champion David Arquette. And it's because of this movie that opened that door for him to be in Ready to Rumble, which ended up being delayed, but ended up him becoming the champion because Vince Russo is a fucking moron.
They should just made Oliver Platt the champion, but
Did you see the death match where he almost died?
yeah, I didn't see the death match, but I saw the shot where they busted a fucking the fluorescent light bulb on his neck, and it just
Yeah, that's the death match. That's what I'm talking.
Yeah,
it was
like,
against
he's
Nick
like-
Gage, and
of course.
but he got back into wrestling just to try to kind of apologize to wrestling fans.
Yeah, like hey,
Or-
look, this is legit.
Yeah, and he really dude became a lot more chill in his life,
That coincide with his divorce from Courtney.
kind of. But they're friends now.
which is I mean,
But they start questioning.
Alex
her.
has the right idea there. Yeah.
well, no, I was about to kind of go into spoilers for the other movies, but I'm not gonna. I just decided
But-
against it.
They start questioning her, Sydney here, and we transition to the park where all the kids are talking, and they're talking about the deaths, like joking around, and you're getting some indications that Billy and Stu are the killers.
Which can go which is either one of two things. If you didn't notice the dialogue, which is like Stu's like going into detail, and Billy's like,
Yeah,
"Shut the fuck up."
not a single one connected that they knew how Casey and Steve were killed.
But I mean, if you're more of a visual person, take a look at the
So
fucking.
also-
I mean, I was
As so, if I watch it now, it's that's just a foreshadowing moment. Then essentially, pretty much,
it's kind of
because like I didn't pick up on any of that. It was like, oh, they're just talking about just riffing, because obviously they're horror fans, and you got Jamie Kennedy's character also a big horror, like, oh my god, you got to be the virgin in the movie or you're gonna fucking die. Like,
was about to say Jamie Kennedy, star of Son of the Mask.
Yeah. And this was also the same year that I forgot he was I think Mercutio in Romeo and Juliet.
Who, Jamie Kennedy?
Yeah.
That's right. I had that in my notes too.
I mean,
I just remember Jamie Kennedy from
Malibu's Most Wanted.
so yeah, that one.
Fucking
and then he joined in the Tremors franchise. Like, Son of the Mask killed his fucking career, but
he tanked.
But yeah, like the boots.
I was about to say, the boots. They're because everyone else is wearing regular ass boots, and they're both wearing.
They're wearing boots. Fucking Doc Martens.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're lovers. I want to have that headcanon.
But we have Matt Lillard as Stu, or Matthew Lillard, whichever he prefers.
Or William Afton.
I fucking adore him.
He's a good actor. I like him in Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, he succeeded Casey Kasem as Shaggy.
He has such a broad voice of character portrayal.
Yeah,
you see him you see him in what's the real punk movie?
SOC Punk.
Yeah.
Hackers.
Yeah, like even the Scooby-Doos, and then Without a Paddle.
And the new FNAF movie is William Afton, who, I mean, if you know FNAF lore.
That means Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
FNAF.
FNAF. Which, if you know the lore.
This is also where we find out Stu dated Casey. And which is the reason she died.
That's the motive that he had.
Yeah. Literally the only one not being a dick in this scene though is Sydney.
Yeah, because she's like, oh.
Stu killed Casey because they were dating, or they broke up?
She broke up with him.
For Steve.
Yeah.
Which is why he gets killed too.
Yeah. Again, like if you think about the toxic masculinity that this movie is addressing, it's like, holy shit.
And he's like,
I know it's horrible to say, but what do you say? Girls don't have ex-boyfriends; they have potential murderers, or whatever that statement is.
Yeah, I think you're on the nose on that.
Yeah, it's like, so it's whenever you hear guys, they always talk about the crazy ex-girlfriends. You very rarely hear women talk about crazy ex-boyfriends, because when they are that kind of level crazy ex-boyfriend, it's typically crazy murderers or attempted murderers or
something like that.
It's never like, it's not good.
And Stu's like, Kennedy's like, oh, like they're talking about, like, oh, who you probably killed her. And she's like, or something like that. And she's like, I didn't kill anyone. And Billy's like, shut the fuck up, dude. So it's like more foreshadowing on that part.
The funniest thing is the fucking jocks playing football in the background.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, because they're at a quad at a school, they have to play
they have
bunch
to
of
throw
jocks
around.
have to play football.
Yeah.
And so Sydney goes home on a fucking bus, and I'm gonna bitch about this because there's no goddamn way an middle class woman such as herself would do that.
Yeah, like you see her house.
Yeah, two fucking patio tables and a second floor to the patio.
A second floor entryway as well.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, there's no way she took this bus. She is way too rich for that. Mm-mm.
And it's a bus out of the city too.
I don't even give a fuck if her dad left town.
And like, there's no way.
She's so scared. So she's going to go to Tatum's, but they do some real nice suspense here in the house because she's watching TV and they're talking nothing about the murders. You hear some creaking, which indicates someone's there. But all of a sudden, Gail Weathers is talking about the previous murder. And she's like, oh, yeah, Sydney's mom, Maureen. Yeah, we got to bring that up, which has a profound impact on like the first three movies.
Yeah, and it's like, it's not forgotten, but it's kind of like, yeah.
But Gail Weathers, Courtney Cox.
She knows how to,
I love her. Like, she's funny enough. Like,
And she-
Cougar Town.
I've seen a couple episodes of that.
I
was about to
remember
say,
that episode
You remember when she was in Scrubs?
vaguely.
She
I was
did
about
like
to
3
say-
episodes. But it
I
was
did watch. I watched Cougar Town for all the wrong reasons. I'm going to say that.
fair enough.
goddamn.
I watched it for reasons they wanted you to watch it, but obviously you weren't getting none of that in that. So,
But I love Bill Lawrence, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah. She knows how to play I was about to say she knows how to play a bitch well because I did look this up. She knows because she wrote a letter to Wes Craven and was like, being a bitch is not that much of a stretch for me. So she knows how to play. She's a good actress.
Again, this is kind of her breakout movie role.
Well, yeah, because like
she did things prior to this, of course. Like, she was on like an episode of Murder, She Wrote in the 80s. She was Alex P. Keaton's girlfriend in Family Ties. But she was also in Masters of the Universe, He-Man, the movie.
I didn't know that.
Like the year prior, she was in Ace Ventura.
I do know that. I was about to say that was a movie she did in
She was
94.
94, 95, yeah.
Something like that.
And my research for this is when I discovered she dated Michael Keaton in 1989.
I think I knew that.
Like, what the fuck?
That's not that shocking.
He
'cause I
dated
mean, like,
Batman. And of course, she famously dated and met David Arquette here and married him in 99. And a lot of these movies will actually like reflect real life.
Yeah. And it's
Of their relationship, as you'll see whenever you get through them.
eventually.
But
If I get through.
Sydney's like, all right, fuck this. I'm going to take a nap. Gets up at night. And Tatum is like, me trying to find penis in movies. Did you notice that? She's like,
She's like, I'm gonna look for a Tom Cruise movie.
It's got a penis in it.
what?
Like-
Oh yeah.
Like, because that's super rare in movies to show the dong.
Yeah.
Not,
How much you
not
watch
just
any
from-
given Sunday? Was that any given Sunday?
Well, I was going to say Boogie Nights.
I was about to say because like
When Mark Wahlberg flapped out that fake one.
I
Oh,
was like that reminds me of that episode of It's Always Sunny where they're like, bring back the dong.
Yeah. This season was hilarious.
Oh, it was. I agree. That's what
Terminator 2's one if you get the right version of the movie.
Hall pass.
Huh?
the right version.
Yeah, the right version.
Oh, and what'd you say, Tracy?
What'd you say, Tracy?
Hall pass.
What?
Oh. Terminator
There's
2?
dong and there's 2 dongs at Hall pass.
Oh, Hall
I
Pass.
thought you said you passed on Terminator 2. I was about to fucking reach through this
No.
fucking screen.
No.
Oh, Robert Patrick hangs dong in that movie, but it's in digital versions, they deleted it.
Really?
Yeah, they covered it up with like special effects.
Huh.
So if you have an older version of the movie, you can see that, his balls just fucking drop. But this is when Ghostface calls her to harass her about horror movies. And
Yeah.
I love her commentary about running upstairs because it's obviously foreshadowing, and
Yeah.
he does that. After going outside and giving him time to get inside, we get a chase scene. And this motherfucker pratfalls like no goddamn other.
Yeah, like this is like
Like,
Blah,
blah.
blah, blah. Arr, and you always hear just like
The funniest fucking thing in this movie happens right here.
are you talking about the weird antiquated text system she has to call 911? It's like
Yeah.
where are you at? And it's like,
She's like, send a text message through fucking her computer.
help. And it's like that thing did not exist then.
That thing barely exists now.
I know.
Like, this police department does not have the funds for a text message service. But as soon as Ghostface runs off, Billy runs in, drops a phone, and Dewey finds the mask in a funny ass jump scare. He's like,
Like I thought that was supposed to like Billy dropping the phone was supposed to be like a red herring to kind of like, oh, here he is. It's like, no, it's not Billy. It's too easy. But you also see him like coked out, like kind of like sweating and stuff. So it's like maybe it is Dewey, or maybe it is Billy.
Yeah, well, the whole idea here is for him to get cleared.
Yeah.
Like, so, because he's, again, trying to manipulate Sydney. So if he gets cleared, it makes her look crazy.
And then they immediately, though, like he goes in jail because.
Like, the big thing, though, is, 1996 cell phones were super rare.
Yeah.
Like, because my dad, like, when did you have a cell phone in your family?
Just in
your family.
Jeffrey got the first one, I think, in 2002, I think.
Yeah. See, my dad had a bag phone that you could only use in the car. It had a car charger.
I remember one of those.
And it was about 5 years after this that I got my phone. And, Nokia 5165 or whatever the fuck. That was a brick that would indestructible.
Yeah.
That you could play Snake on.
I remember Snake. That game was so awesome.
But I do love like this one scene that they, cinematography, the shadow on Billy. Like just very shadowy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's
like, he kind of, I don't know, kind of suspicious.
He was shady, so it portrayed into his shadiness.
But I do love like when Gail's like goes off on Kenny. And she's just like, move your fat fucking ass.
Like, I mean, hey, Courtney Cox can call me a fat ass any day. Just saying. Though I'll admit, she doesn't look like her blonde, like her hair changes all throughout these movies. She looks fine with blonde hair, but it's not a spoiler or nothing, Tracy, so don't freak out.
Courtney Cox go blonde in one of these movies?
It's this one. Like, she's kind of, I don't know. I find blonde, yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant what I don't pay enough attention to hair.
The bangs in 3, though.
And that's what I was about to say.
Oof.
Yeah.
I thought you were trying to say like she goes full on like bottle blonde at some point. Like,
No.
It's not like
goofy looking.
It's not like Anna Faris going blonde in Scary Movie 3.
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking.
As fuck.
Once you think about it,
because you've like for me, I only knew Anna Faris from Scary Movie 1 and 2.
with the black hair.
I mean, it's jarring, but I think she looks better as a blonde. But that's just
and then after that, she's naturally blonde, I believe, but she had blonde hair like ever since then.
Yeah, she's like, I ain't going back to that.
Even when she did like the 8 seasons of Mom, which I don't know how the fuck that lasted so long.
Even though she left.
Yeah. But they go to the police station and they're like, we can't find your dad.
But I do want to mention that like Joseph Whipp is the sheriff, and I did research on him too. He's on Wikipedia, he's known for playing police officers.
Yeah.
And
he's
everything.
A police officer in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street. Yep.
So he was a hire for Wes Craven, just like, here we go.
Yeah. But yeah, they're talking to Billy and her, which for some reason they're like, and this is why I question whether or not they had the funding for a text message system, because they're questioning Billy right in front of her.
Yeah.
No, that sounds about smart.
Gail arrives to interview Sydney as Tatum is clowning Dewey in front of everyone, which I wish my fucking sister would.
I mean, he's got like, again, Scary Movie, because in Scary Movie, he's called Doofy, and he's portrayed very
problematic nowadays.
Yes, could not be done now. But you get her treating Dewey as if they're like similar people, like, and just straight up like disrespect him. And it's like, and he's even like, Mom says, when I have the badge on, you have to respect me, which is kind of sad, but still like a point of like, hey,
I'd have been
exactly
shut the fuck up. I mean, she gonna get gat later, but
it kind of adds into like maybe Dewey's the killer because you see him with the mask.
Yeah, I can see that.
Somewhat, but it's just more.
I mean, for the Scream franchise, I love Dewey's character.
Like,
And Tracy, you haven't seen the other ones, but it's a really good arc, and you're going to forget he's a bumbling fool.
I was about to say he starts off
By
as a
the end of
bumbling
it.
fool.
Yeah, by the end of it, it's going to be totally different.
David
yeah.
Arquette's fighting the Ghostface Killer in sword to sword combat. Just let's go.
Gail here finds Sydney, and then Sydney's just like,
Right into the next 5 movies, she's just like,
"Fuck, bitch."
bam, bam, bitch went down.
I love that line. Bam, bitch went down. But yeah, while they're talking about this, Ghostface calls and is like, "Hello, Sydney." And Dewey, goofy ass, runs out with a gun, and of course, you can only visualize the scary movie scene.
Leave me alone when I'm cleaning my room.
Yeah, leave me alone when I'm cleaning my room, and he's got a fucking vacuum on his dick.
It's not on it, but you can see his vacuum had
was
been
using
on
Oh
it.
yeah, he had like a big raging heart on, like where he was using it.
And he's like,
Yeah.
shit.
I do love when Dewey's like grabs the phone. He's like,
Hello.
"Hello," like
No, he was like,
he's like,
hello.
"Hello."
But hold on, Dewey hung up, so the Ghostface Killer hung up.
But the next day we get probably the Scream series iconic theme song with Red Right Hand.
Huh.
There's only one movie it's not been in.
Really?
Red Right Hand?
The 5th one. Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen the 5th one, so like, I don't remember.
I think it's the 5th one. It's not in there. But it's been in every other one. This is, they start playing it like it starts getting anyways, excuse me. But Sydney's watching the news where we see Cotton Weary, played by Liv Schreiber, who we've talked about before.
I didn't know that was.
That was from
Trevor.
I thought that was the dude that plays Homelander.
I didn't know who that was.
How old do you think he is? How old do you think? What the fuck's his name? Homelander is
Anthony Starr.
Yeah, Anthony Starr. I had the first name right.
Anthony Starr is 47.
So how do you?
And Liv Schreiber's a little bit older than that.
Just a little bit.
Probably about 10 years.
55.
Yeah.
So if this would have been 47.
Yeah, if Scream had been made 10 years later, then yeah, you could have had an argument.
Oh yeah.
No. I mean, he could have been 19 when the movie was made.
Anyways, it's not him.
I know it's not him.
But it's a
I thought it
cameo,
was, though.
which he'll actually show up in future installments. Product placement in this movie is fucking amazing. Did you notice
I only noticed a couple like Cheetos and Tostinos and.
Or you didn't notice the Dunkin' Donuts?
I did. I was about to say
Big old
there's
fucking
one.
box. Or
Wasn't it just a bag? Just says Dunkin' Donuts.
Or the corn checks.
Who the heck eats
Can we
corn
talk about
checks?
how they're already pulling fucking phone records and it's 1996, the Patriot Act isn't fucking signed yet, and there's like, we pulled the phone records like that, and like not even like, where's the judge that signed off on that warrant? Like what due process is happening here?
Right. Well, it's cell phone, so there was little to none.
Yeah.
Like always.
So getting
By the
into
way,
lore.
I'm just saying, if you're trying to commit a crime, don't have your cell phone on you.
Well, yeah.
Or don't drive there, turn it off, and then turn it back on when you're leaving.
Yeah.
Oh, dude in Idaho.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's what he did.
What?
Serial killer in Idaho. Or he killed like 4 women in a sorority house. And he turned his phone on right after that.
Like he turned it off as he was like heading there and turned it back on his way back. And he was apparently working on his PhD in criminology, studying serial killers. Thought he could get away with it.
Yeah, that's like saying I watched a bunch of Monk and Psych and I can get away with crime now.
Mm-hmm.
I love that shows.
Dewey takes the girls to school when this woman runs up on them. Just, how's it feel to be that these people are being brutally butchered even though your mom's dead? How you doing?
So getting into some lore, we do find out that Cindy's mom kind of got around a lot.
Yeah, you find that out by the end of this movie.
Yeah, which plays roles later in the series.
I was about to say here, like they're like her and Gil are talking about it, and she's like, "Well, your mom had an affair," and she's like, "She would never do that." So it's like, was he wrongly convicted?
Yeah, there's
Yes.
Yeah,
like,
he was. He was. I was about to
but
say.
interestingly enough, Billy brought up The Exorcist.
Right.
This woman that is straight up in her fucking in Sydney's face. That's Linda
Uh-huh.
Blair.
I saw that. I saw that
And
yeah.
the other thing I thought was funny is that no way in fucking hell could Tatum dress like this at a school.
Nope. I was about to say, I tried.
I do love when Sydney runs into Billy here. And then I especially love when Sydney runs.
Uh-huh.
I love when she runs because she runs like Alex.
I do not run like that.
You do too.
How did
I was about to say, I thought you were going to compare that scene in Scary Movie where Anna Faris is like,
she goes to the bathroom where these girls are talking mad fucking shit about her. Like, holy shit.
ooh, my blood will be boiling.
But she's about to leave. That's where Ghostface turns up. This is Billy.
Just hiding in the bathroom?
Yeah.
But I mean, I was about to say, if people, don't catch on because of like some fucking douche running in the hallways as Ghostface.
Yeah.
Because they're just pulling that shit.
And that Dewey and Gail finally meet and they're flirting with each other. Gail brings up something about the Sharon Stone stalker.
Yeah.
Like and about that time, the Fonz is like, "Yo, class is canceled." Hey.
And school's out for summer.
I know, and everybody's like, "Yeah, we're so glad it
And all
happened."
the kids are excited. The kids decide to party at Stu's.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, the Fonz has expelled 2 students. I call them the Fonz. It's like Principal Hembry or something like that.
Yeah, you're right.
And he's like, I love this line. Thieving, whoring generation disgusts me.
And which is pretty funny.
And he plays with the mask he confiscated when a door knocks. And this is when we get the Wes Craven cameo as Fred. And he's wearing the Freddy Krueger sweater and fedora.
Yeah.
There's a blooper where he pratfalls off because he's mopping and he falls.
Oh.
But we are building suspense up for this principal to get fucking stabbed.
Oh, and it's not. It's not. He's not let up lightly. He's like.
And I love the reflection in his eyes.
I do too. That's something I noticed too.
It's a pretty iconic scene, or iconic to me.
I was about to say. I mean, I can see why that's iconic.
And after this, Tatum and Sydney are talking about Maureen. And like, do you think she cheated on your dad? You think she fucked Cotton? Like my thing is like, how do we know that, Maureen, Daddy Prescott, and Cotton here didn't have like some kind of poly thing going on? And all these kids just misinterpreted it.
Either that or
I'm just saying.
Either that or Neil Prescott is a massive cuck. Either way, respect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's my headcanon. Like there was like some throuple shit going on here, and Billy's just a dumbass.
Well, it sounds like she was fucking other people though, besides just Billy
and Cotton and all that.
Yeah, it's like it's more than just a throuple. It's like super polyamorous. Or
they had a whole community.
I agree with Alex. Maybe Sydney's dad is just a couple, and just
but again, that would play into Billy just not being a dumbass.
Yeah,
I mean, we did have one moment one time with him.
Yeah, that's your phrase used here. Whenever they're talking, like I think they're talking about sex or something, and she's like, so I don't want Billy to think I'm sexually anorexic. And I'm like, never in my life will I use or hear that phrase. So I just kind of thought it was weird.
Oh yeah, it's again 90s dialogue isn't all that great.
I
It's
guess
horrible.
so.
And they're in this knockoff Blockbuster where they charge $3 for one fucking rental.
Is it a knockoff Blockbuster when it's like it legit looked like the Blockbuster at Mayfield?
Oh yeah, I forgot there was a Blockbuster in Mayfield.
Like it legit looked like
I
fucking
never.
Blockbuster
I think
to
I
me.
rented like 2 movies from there. I always
you
went
were-
to Donald Jones.
So what happens when your family wrecks up a bill at Donald Jones to pay it? You go to Blockbuster.
Fair enough.
That's what happens.
But that stingy bastard would never charge $3 for a rental.
No, he charged $2 for a day.
Yeah, but not 3. 3 too much, man.
Blockbuster charged $4 for 5 days.
Yeah, but that was when they were starting to be on the downslide, man.
No, that was like the entire time.
Man,
The best thing about
Blockbuster was
Donald-
not popular there, though.
It was. The best thing about Donald Jones and Mayfield was you got the tub of fucking popcorn when you went for free.
Goddamn right. Oh yeah, and he had like some of the rarest fucking NES and SNES games.
I feel like he just bought up one copy of every game as it came out and then
Yeah.
just tossed everything when he closed it.
But that motherfucker charged way too much to rent those fucking systems.
How much did he charge?
Like $20, wasn't it?
No, it was that. Do you not remember you had to have a deposit?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Oh.
deposit was like $200.
God damn.
Oh, I don't remember that.
I was about to say,
Yeah,
I
you
was
had
about
to
to
have
say,
a deposit
$20 doesn't seem like a lot, but $200
on top
deposit.
of renting it.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
I remember
God.
because my grandmother rented like a Super Nintendo or an N64 like for us all the time.
Yeah, well, she had a deposit there.
My grandmother, I never knew about that.
When I turned 18, the first thing I did was go to Donald Jones and ask for the Red Book.
What's the red book?
Porn.
He wanted to rent porno.
It was a Red Book, and you got to look through it and scroll through, and it was just a list of all his porn movies that he had for rent.
Oh,
I sure did.
I think I'm going to edit this out.
No,
Nope,
you're not.
you need to leave it.
But Stu and Randy are talking about the potential killer here, and they're basing it entirely on their movie knowledge. But Randy surmises correctly Billy is the killer or a killer.
Because he's like, yeah, if you're a murder suspect, like
Right.
one of the points he makes is like, if you're a murder suspect, why would you hang out in the horror movie section?
But I forget all the time how creepy Randy is in this movie.
That's the Jamie Kennedy, right?
Yeah.
I put it in my
That
notes
dude-
as Kennedy.
Like,
So I know he's in other ones. Is he that bad in
no.
later movies? Okay, because this dude's like straight up like, I just want to gut somebody. Like, if he was the killer, I would not have been surprised.
Actually, whenever he's like, do you think Sid will date me?
And,
No,
and Stu's
what?
like, he's like, no.
No.
And
Why are we doing this, man? Why are we doing this?
Stu, because Bill, like, Stu is kind of standing up for Billy or whatever. He's like, oh, well, how would you know or whatever? He's definitely Billy's bottom bitch. Because there's a lot of, I did read about, like, could they be in a romantic relationship or does Stu just have a really big crush on Billy? Either way, respect.
And we see some indication here. A lot of people don't pick up on it until Billy is talking to other women.
I noticed that. I was about to
Did
say,
you
like,
notice that, Tracy?
No.
he's talking to other women and
Yeah. So
yeah. It's
he is. He just wants to get his dick
He's-
wet,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
and he doesn't want anyone else to mess with Sydney.
Of course.
yeah. That sounds about right.
But meanwhile, while
So-
this is all going on, Dewey is pulling security for Sydney and Tatum, and he's talking to the police chief here, and he is just like,
Want some strawberry ice cream.
oh, that fucking SpongeBob episode where he's like,
He's like-
like whenever SpongeBob has to is
learning not to be a doormat.
or
And-
learn it. Plankton's like, you need to be assertive, and he's just like,
Or no,
that's
he's like-
Dewey right here.
Yeah.
But and the police chief's smoking up a fucking freight train here. He's like,
Like every other line, he's like,
it's revealed that Daddy Prescott has been making the phone calls.
Yeah, like they're calling for his dad. It's like,
Yeah, which is like, again, this is why Sydney would not be taking the fucking bus.
exactly.
Yeah. And you find out that really all along it's just Billy and Stu had fucking Sydney's dad's cell phone, and that's how he was calling it. But I mean, it's still
because Randy was like, oh yeah, they cloned his cell phone.
Yeah, which you cloned his cell phone. Are you hacker Stu from that? Are you your hacker from that version? Is that where you got that role from?
But now it's party time all the time. And
Indeed.
Because schools have. I'm sorry, I can't get that out of my head.
It's Alice Cooper.
And so they all go, all the parties there. Gail follows them.
So Sneak said like she wasn't invited, but all shows up. But I want to know what kind of fucking idiot, like obviously Costa knows what's happening. He's like, hey, we're gonna let you throw a party while there's a known killer killing teenagers. And it's like, no, like just shut that shit down and do we should.
Where the fuck are these parents?
Yeah.
They're all out of town.
Maybe Stu killed his parents too, just like stab.
And yeah, Gail starts hanging out with Dewey and she sneaks a camera in, which is on delay, which will play into later. The boy, do we have a 90s fucking party, y'all. This is straight up 1990s shit.
Yep.
With the music, with the VHS tapes, with the Tatum and 70s style clothing.
Which I wish they would. I mean, still, they're bringing it back, but
the Hugh Hefner robe.
Because, that was the thing at a time. We tied an onion to our fucking belt.
Yeah.
That's a Simpsons reference, Tracy.
Didn't catch it.
I'm gonna try to make a Simpsons reference every time, and just
that's our plan
until we bug you enough to fucking watch at least the first 5 seasons.
Or first, yeah.
We'll start light. But Randy's just like, I'm bringing all the fucking movies to watch, which is totally something I would do.
And it's some kind of horror movie. He's like, do you want to do, what was it? Did he shoot? Was it Nightmare on 13 Elm Street, or was it in Hellraiser, right?
What?
Or was it Halloween and Hellraiser?
It was Jamie Lee Curtis movie, so it was like Prom Night, Halloween.
It was Prom Night, The Fog.
All that.
Did you notice the movie Stu has? That Stu owns? No. It was sitting on top of the VCR.
What's the movie?
What movie was it?
Clerks.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Okay. I was about to say. I was like, which one? Because there was one I noticed.
Again, this is a Dimension film. Weinstein, yeah. So that's why. Of course, Wes Craven was in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
I need to watch that again.
And they did like a quick parody of Scream with the monkey.
I don't remember that.
Oh, and Jay and Silent Bob are in Scream 3.
Oh, wow.
It's when
I would have just like, here's little love letters to each other and like, hey, you guys want to do this? All right, fine.
Yeah, by all accounts, like Wes and Kevin Smith had a cordial relationship, a friendly relationship.
Yeah.
Stu's like, hey, woman, go get me beer. And she's like, okay.
And then you can see her nipples.
Oh, yeah, them things be thinging.
Like, I don't know if it's cold in there or what. Or she's like, what?
They were like, let's just accentuate these boobs.
Let's talk more about boobies, because they sure did. They talked about Jamie Lee's in Trading Places.
What was the first movie? Exactly. What was the first movie with Jamie Lee Curtis boobs in it?
Trading Places.
Yeah,
we've talked about.
Yep, we did a live review of that one.
Yes.
I've never seen that movie. All I know is that there's blackface in it.
Yeah, there's blackface in it. Yeah. It's like,
and Jamie Lee, and she plays a prostitute.
Yep. But Ghostface shows up to attack her, but she's like, fuck you, bitch. Pop.
Which I love that about.
And you just see him like flailing.
I know. He's like throwing bottles at it and they're shattering. It's like, how is this dude not knocked the fuck out yet?
And that's what I love about this movie. It's like, I've researched more themes and all that. Like, in like other movies, some women like submit to the killer or whatever. These bitches fight back. They're like, nah, fuck that.
I mean, I think she could have. If she actually would have tried instead of ran, I think she could have took him. Like, if she would have just grabbed something and just started swinging, I think she would have won. But no.
Right. And then she makes one of the most boneheaded decisions ever.
I'm going to go through the cat fucking thing.
The cat door, which she could fit through in real life.
Yeah.
So they had to do some clever editing to make it look like she's stuck. And of course, that joke does not stand up.
It doesn't.
In Scary Movie.
That garage door would have broke.
Yeah. Well, first off, the garage door would have broke with Tatum.
Yeah. It would never open.
Like that fucking 0.5 horsepower ain't picking up shit.
It's not. And then there's that level, the laser in there that if you lock it, it shuts off the
Well,
thing.
that wouldn't have existed in the 90s, I think.
No, I think it's been in there for a while, like a slight safety measure. I don't know.
Yeah, this door has the strength of fucking Hercules to pick her up and just kill her.
Just breaks
squishes
neck,
her head.
pushes her head, which makes it interesting because apparently there's enough force on one side of her head to push against the other side to smash her skull.
Or she couldn't just slide out real quick.
She couldn't be like, whoop.
Again, yeah, I mean, yes, this is an iconic death of her, like, as far
This
as
is-
horror movies go, but people still make fun of this fucking thing. Like,
Uh-huh.
this makes no sense.
Yeah, it's kind of the logic doesn't really logic here.
Like, within the movie, it makes sense, but when you think about how it was made, you're like, what?
You're like, oh.
But Sydney and Billy are like, during this whole time, is like, let's go to the room to fuck.
And it's,
And
again, scary movie.
And
That
her
fucking scene.
issue is and this is like a motivation. Again, I understand in the context of the movie, but not really outside of the movie. Is like, if I fuck once, I'm gonna fuck a lot, and I'm gonna end up like my mom.
Yeah.
Like what? Like that's essentially what she's saying when she was like, why she's resisting Billy so much.
And like you heard him bitch about it, like we were doing so good, and then your mom died because I killed her, sidebar. But then your mom died, and you just stopped. What happened? And it's like,
Yeah, and of course, Billy had to bring up red flag number 2 by talking about Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he's like, oh, Jodie Foster's reminded of her dad.
But I do like this, you know, when they say like this isn't a movie. Oh, it's all a movie. Only you can't pick your genre.
Yeah.
I do like that.
Yeah, same.
But this fucking makes her dripping wet. Like holy shit.
Yeah, she's like, oh my God.
It works. I mean, I guess.
I mean, looks wise, sure, but.
Because they get down while Randy is talking about the rules of horror movies during their watch of Halloween.
Which I do want to mention that this was supposed to be taken in a single take, but Kennedy was like, I want to do more. And this gives off, like, me, Dad, this motherfucker pauses the movie. They're like, what rules are you talking about? He pauses the movie. He's like, what fucking rule? What do you mean, what rules?
Rules.
And
yeah, the rules. No sex, no alcohol or drugs, and never say I'll be right back.
Which I mean,
that's just like, dude, you watch way too much fucking movies, Randy. Get a life.
Like,
get laid.
Oh, I was about to say.
I realized I'm fucking Randy here, except I've had relations. Because I'm always the one with trivia.
Yeah, you're like, you pause the movie, you're like, oh yeah. But
Jamie Lee Curtis tits are shown in
Trading Places.
Robert Patrick shows his balls in Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with that stuff.
Yeah.
I understand it. And of course, he's like obligatory tit shot. And then it shows like, of course, Neve Campbell doesn't do that stuff.
But it's
good, good for Wes not forcing that on her.
Yeah.
Like some actresses get, especially around this time.
Yeah.
But Gail and Dewey hear about this reported car, which
down the road. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, let's take a walk down the road.
But we also need an excuse to get rid of all these fucking extras.
And they almost run over Gail and Dewey as well. Just like, hey.
Yeah, because they find out like Fonz is hung up at the football field. This time he didn't jump the shark.
Yeah.
And
He got
And-
jumped himself.
do
And-
you understand that, Alex?
What?
The jump the
What?
shark?
Yes. Yeah.
Nope. That's a
you
no. He doesn't.
No.
So in Happy Days, Fonz, famous in one like iconic part of Happy Days, jumps over a lot of barrels in a motorcycle. Okay.
Okay.
A few years later, they recreate that same thing, except this time he jumps sharks in the ocean, and the term "jumping the shark."
That's
comes
how it
from
was
that.
made.
Yes.
That's how that was made.
Mhm.
Oh, I was about to
And-
say I'm
and
never
over
gonna
the-
watch Happy Days. So I
Over the
mean,
lifespan of Happy Days, Fonz becomes from a side character to the main character. Like that's not like a
Like within
I knew that.
like within a year, dude. That happens.
I knew
like
that.
it's not even
but
like two like
It's like it's the only character that's ever gone quicker from side to main is Steve Urkel.
yeah.
uh-huh.
Which-
and
Steve
Spock
Urkel managed to become main cast member by the end of the first season.
Yeah, and Spock
Yeah.
was the same way, right?
No,
Or was he?
I was about to say because I'm never gonna watch Happy Days, so I'm like, I don't really.
What? Happy Days is good. Shut up.
I mean, I said that was MASH, and here I am watching MASH.
You gave in.
But they find this car abandoned and think the dad's there to kill people. Of course, they get run off, and now we have a lot of chaos going on because as soon as Sid and Billy finish their sexy time, and Sydney's in post-coitus, asking about his time in jail.
Or she's like, "Yeah, you're allowed to make one phone call. So who'd you call?"
Yeah,
And he's like,
Ghostbusters.
she catches this lie, but she doesn't have time to process it because Ghostface comes in and kills him, quote unquote. Doesn't kill him.
Corn syrup.
Yeah, and they mess with her one last time before Final Girl mode hits.
my favorite.
When she's running from Stu, who's in the Ghostface costume, she knocks the fuck out of him with this door.
Mm-hmm.
Just like bam.
She's like, "Nah, bitch."
Like that dude, and before she falls on a boat and has broken ribs.
But I mean, she just like flop, and then she's like, "Oh shit, my friend died."
And I do love the clever use of Halloween in this scene now.
Yeah,
When they're like, look behind you. Look behind you.
Oh, and Kenny
And the sound effects also Halloween, like it's kind of portraying into it, like you're getting a and just the sound, the music.
I think that was just a cheap way to incorporate John Carpenter into this movie.
Yeah. I do want to know, though, how fucking big is this goddamn house?
Huge. They're
everyone's
all rich, dude.
everyone's fucking rich in this movie, I guess.
Because
Because
I mean,
Steve's
it's
got
like
that whole fucking robe going on. He's like, "Yeah, I'm a rich motherfucker."
it's like there's a fucking bedroom on every corner of the house, kind of deal.
And Sydney has attracting murder syndrome because she runs up to Kenny and he is slashed to fuck.
Mhm.
And this is supposed to be more gruesome, but MPA was going to be like, no, NC-17 if you leave this.
Exactly.
It's like this dude didn't even get to fuck around and he found out.
Yeah. Poor Kenny.
And this is where Gail tries to run away in the van. The blood's straight like flowing down.
Because the body's on the van.
Yeah.
That was a nice touch, is the blood on the windshield. Just like, oh God. It's
And even though she's like, "Kenny, I mean, shit, get the fuck out of my car."
Oh, I love when she's like, Kenny, I need the cellular. Because, I love that when we hear these terms that we do not use anymore.
I've
we
never
just say
heard.
cell phone.
yeah.
Because
Well,
I wasn't born.
used to be called cellular phone.
And
or
then
it's
that's
like-
called something.
We didn't used to say the internet. Used to
Did
say
y'all
the-
call it interwebs?
World Wide Web.
Oh,
Yeah, and because the internet and the World Wide Web are two different fucking things. All right, where am I? But she tries to drive off, and she knocks the fuck out of Randy here.
Yeah.
like with the fucking cellular phone.
And yeah, Sydney's running back to the house. Instead of running the opposite way, away from the house, runs back to the house.
Yeah.
But she finds a knife in Dewey's back.
Or Dewey, yeah, like you see him when he comes out, it's like, and falls over, and there's a
Yeah.
knife in his back. And oh, damn, what happened?
And he was originally supposed to die in the movie.
Who do we?
Yeah. He was
Wonder
supposed
why
to
they
die in this one
why did they
Huh.
keep him alive then?
because of test the audience.
Fan
They wanted, like,
service.
just a little more survival, I guess.
Yeah, well, if you notice in some scenes, he's not breathing. After
So,
this.
but they were
Like
but they
when
were-
Gail is laying on him, falls on him.
Uh-huh.
he's
Like
not
if you
breathing.
look at him, he's not breathing.
I didn't
I
notice
wouldn't have paid
that.
enough attention to that to even notice it.
I was about to say I didn't notice that. I just thought he was passed the fuck out.
But yeah, they liked him enough; they wanted to keep him, so that's why he continues on in the series. So
Fair enough.
whoever had that decision, good job, because it was a good choice.
Mhm.
After some dicking around in the car where she's fighting with Ghostface,
And he's like, "Ooh, I got the keys." Ooh.
yeah, and she runs back to the house where Randy and Stu show up for one last whodunit scene.
Mm-hmm.
And Randy's like, he's like,
And
"We
she's
gotta
like-
get the fuck out of here."
Yeah, she's like, fuck you and fuck you, going inside. And yeah, this is where Billy falls down the stairs to play it up one more time. I think they I love this movie. I think they played this up too many times.
Yeah,
He
it's
could've
like it's
just
already
He should have just shown up behind her, like, and grabbed the gun and said, "Yeah, bitch, I'm the killer."
Yeah.
like he recites this line from Psycho. He takes the gun. He's like, "Oh, we all get a little mad sometimes," and it's like the blood is corn syrup, which he also mentions
Just like in
is
Carrie.
just like the pig's blood in Carrie.
And yeah, he blasts fucking Randy.
Like,
Yeah.
Here. Yeah, she's so blind she never noticed he wasn't stabbed.
yeah.
And again, yeah, this is you know who the Quartering is
Rings a bell.
on YouTube.
No.
The
He's
what?
like an alt-right movie reviewer.
The Coitering?
Oh.
Quartering, yeah. This is Billy.
Uh-huh.
Like if Billy was a real person,
Oh, you mean the inevitability we'll have from real
Yeah.
life sometime?
Billy would be an alt-right fucking dick.
You think Billy would have listened to Andrew Tate? I think so.
I think Andrew Tate would have listened to Billy.
I think he did, and then went to jail.
Yeah.
Sucks for him.
Yep. But they have her and they're like, we're going to spell out our plan like a villain.
Because Billy's like, "Oh, well, it'd be fun if I didn't have a motive, but in reality, your mom fucked my dad.
Yeah.
So, and that's why my
And-
mom abandoned me. Like, nah, you're just a little fucking weirdo. Maybe that's why."
and
That
and
is
Stu-
some yes.
yeah.
Why weirdo? Like, why in the fuck are you going like on a killing spree because of that? It's nobody else's fault but your own fucking parents. Like, God, yeah,
Makes-
the dude
I
has
mean-
fucking
But, and then,
issues.
but Stu's like, I'm just here for the shits and giggles, y'all.
I know,
I love him for that.
and then Stu's like, all right, we gotta make it look like we're trying. Like, we killed each other. Like, we survived. And, you stabbed me too hard, man.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, and this is where Matthew Lillard is fucking amazing because he is so over the top here. The drooling, the everything. I love it.
Like, I love how, like, most of it, like, a lot of it's improvised because he's just great.
Yeah.
Like,
He's not great in Wing Commander, but that's a
I
different
didn't know
story.
that. I didn't know he was in that.
Yeah, with Freddie Prinze Jr.
Don't know who that is.
You know who Freddie Prinze Jr. is?
Yeah.
No.
You do too. He was Fred in the Scooby movies.
That's okay. I didn't ring a bell at first, but I'm like, oh God, maybe. Okay.
But yeah, like the whole idea is we're gonna frame her dad for all this because it's a year after her death, and blah blah blah. And Gail shows up with the gun, Stu misplaced, and this gives Sydney enough time to run off and turn the tables where she calls the phone and starts acting like
Yeah.
Ghostface. And in a scene like when the phone falls on Stu's head, that was an accident.
It
And
was
he's
great,
like,
though.
"Oh, you hit me with
He's
the
like,
fucking
"Okay."
phone, you dick."
I bleed the death here, man.
And he's like, "Did you really call 911?" And she's like, you bet your sorry ass. And he's like, my mom and dad are going to be so mad at me. That was improvised. That was also improvised.
But Billy's looking for. Oh, go ahead.
I was about to say, because like, he's looking for Sydney. So whenever he stabs the pillow, that was an accident, but that was kept in. Like, because the blood was all sticky and shit. So they were like, the feathers got stuck to Billy or Ulrich, but Wes Craven decided to keep that in. I don't know why, but it just was. Also, yeah, I forgot what I was going to mention, but go ahead.
And he's looking for her, finds her, or she's in the closet, and she stabs the fuck out of Billy with an umbrella. And this was a real stab.
Oh wow, really?
It was
Yeah. Because she missed the plate that was in it under his shirt.
Oh,
so that was on it.
So
it was
whenever
on an
it
open heart.
hit him right here, his reaction's real.
So, but it was on an open heart surgery he had as a kid. I bet you didn't have that in your note. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. We just steal each other's notes.
Stu chases her around now because he got his second win, before he, bleeds out. And she throws a TV on his ass, like, plop.
Yeah. That was a great moment of because you know what, those old TVs aren't like the TVs today. Those old TVs would fucking kill you if it fell on you.
No, today if this TV, you'd just be like,
that's an inconvenience.
The only way you could do that is if you take it like a fucking just like a bat crack.
Yeah, instead of a chair shot, it's an LCD TV shot.
Although it does remind me of the time when John Moxley, when he was Dean Ambrose, fights I think Bray Wyatt, and he tries to attack him with a TV, and it like sparks up. It's so corny, but rest in peace, Bray. But damn, but Billy tries to kill her one last time when Gail's just like, "Kapow, motherfucker!"
Shoots him and just like, "Fuck you!" And it's like,
And then, that's where you get this, Randy's like, oh my God, he might come back. And he tries, and
so she's like, fuck that.
Like, nope.
And she just straight fucking executes him, just
yeah. Puts one
headshot
right in the head. Yeah. Headshot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we just time to wrap this movie up because they're just like, okay, everybody, it's over. Morning time hits, everyone gets treated. Gail ends with her news report. Sunrise.
And like, that's so crazy. Like, Dewey goes away, and then it's like, and here's Gail, and it's like, holy shit.
Oh yeah. Dewey's
she has been through it, so she's like, all right, time to report the news because that's what I do best. Because my name is Gail Weathers, bitch.
So that does it for Scream. What are we thinking? We'll start with Tracy.
Since I'm the proverbial fresh cherry here on this, it was pretty solid overall. It did kind of feel like it had some pacing issues in the beginning. Like, it did kind of move a little sluggish in my opinion, but I think it kind of picked up better on throughout the movie. And I do like when I talked, earlier just about it, like, you have a horror film, but they also put in these thriller elements to kind of imply, which I'm not obviously real adept with horror. So like, that could have been something that's already like pertinent in horror film genre, is that thriller aspect, like who did it, like kind of aspects to it. So of where you have the active murderer operating and then also having the etc. having to figure out who did it. But overall, it's pretty solid. I'm definitely interested to see the others. So I don't know if I'll sit down and watch all 6 soon, but I'll probably sit down and watch all of them over the course of probably a couple months or so.
All right, Alex, why don't you go ahead?
I mean, whatever's been said about this movie's already been said. I'm just saying that this one has the scariest opening because, I mean, all the others have different ones, like it varies. But this was like my first, well, it wasn't my first horror movie, but I was like 10 when I watched the scene, and it traumatized the fuck out of me, and it still does kind of. But I mean, watching it as an adult, it's obviously, I love the parody aspect. I love the horror aspect. It just works so much as a horror movie, and it revolutionized horror movies in general. Because you had stuff was kind of falling out, like Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Halloween, but this one was like, nah, fuck that. So I mean, solid 9 out of 10 for me.
It's Scream. It's really good. It's
Like,
got
yeah,
some
what?
pacing issues.
That's just how it started out.
I don't know if it's my favorite one of the franchise.
Mm.
I love a lot of the ideas that they bring into this. You know, the homage, or parody, whatever you want to call it, of previous movies. Some clever, like whodunit of the time.
But this one was kind of obvious. Sorry, but yeah, this one was kind of
It
obvious.
wasn't obvious in '96.
I mean, fair enough. Because I mean, like, nobody really watched over and over at the time, so it's like,
Yeah. So like, and after this, like every movie, it's like, oh my god, who did it? Like, and you're trying to figure it out. And this set the standard for horror for a good while.
Yeah, because you get. I feel like this and Saw kind of like shaped the horror genre for 15 years.
I mean, this set the standard up until Saw, which changed the standard.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
I do not like Saw. I'm sorry.
Saw, I enjoy Saws, but I don't like the horrorcore grindy like mutilation core that genre that it spawned in the genre. If that makes sense.
Yeah, because like, I mean,
what is that, horror porn or whatever, or
something like that. Because I mean, I would like 16-year-old me would know because I did research on that kind of shit, but I can tell you now.
What more can you say about this fucking movie?
That hasn't been said.
That hasn't been said before. That like Wes Craven resurgence in his career started a bunch of careers for people. Like
I mean, for me, it's like a good horror movie. Obviously, it's a different opinion for everyone, but I mean, for someone as young as me, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
And so what do we have on tap next week? Oh, it's my choice.
Yep, it's your choice. You chose Alone in the Dark.
I did.
Is it bad?
Probably.
It's not good.
But, well, I mean, you chose The Shadow for us.
Yeah, I have to mix it up. We can't do all iconic.
We can't do it. We can't do good things. We have to do like terrible stuff too.
Honestly, you guys just give me enough time. I'll pick enough bad movies. You guys will meet the quota of whatever you want on bad movies in y'all's opinions. Like I know I'm going to, but
Alone in the Dark with Christian Slater.
I
mean, Christian
it's
Slater.
based on the isn't that the one based on the video game?
Yep.
Oh, never mind. I know what you're talking about now.
And it's directed by everyone's favorite Yui Bo.
What else did you direct? Do we own it or do we have to?
Well, Tubi owns it.
Here we go.
Good.
I would never buy this.
On Wikipedia, it says this: his 2005 Alone in the Dark adaptation is considered one of the worst films ever made.
That's about right.
All right. So until next time, I've been Matt.
I've been Tracy.
I've been Alex.
And like our shit, I hope we're getting in the groove about things. Share our stuff. Watch us. Love you. Bye-bye. Peace.
Peace.